Welcome back, grade 11s. I hope you are well rested. And now let's quickly wrap up today's exciting lesson. Now, I just want to remind you that in business roles, we are focusing on the 4 subtopics. Now, in the previous lesson, we had discussed creative thinking and problem solving, as well as stress, change, and crisis management. And in this lesson, we focused on ethics and professionalism, as well as team dynamics and conflict management. Now, all these 4 make up business roles. Now, let's again remind each other of the common errors that you can make in the 4 topics. With creative thinking and problem solving, it is easy to confuse the definition of creative thinking with problem solving. Now, remember that with creative thinking, we are looking at finding unique solutions that have not been implemented before. So you are trying to use your imagination to come up with new ideas. Now think of this. Who knew that one day you would be sitting at the comfort of your own home and looking at a lesson on TV? Now that is an example of creative thinking. Whereas with problem solving, we are looking at a process to try and come up with different solutions to solving a problem. Now, this will entail looking at different strategies to make sure that we take the correct decision when we are solving a problem. Another confusion that you can come across is confusing the techniques with their application. Now, remember that you might be asked to just define the technique. So remember that with problem-solving techniques, we are focusing on only 2, which is the Delphi as well as the force field. Now, if you are looking at the Delphi, defining it will simply mean you are telling us what Delphi is. But the moment you are asked for the application, it means that you must then explain the steps as to how is the Delphi technique done. Now, remember that with the Delphi, we use it to solve complex problems, whereas with force field, we want to implement change. Now, you then need to explain the steps of how are we going to implement this change by looking at the advantages and the disadvantages. Now, I hope that clarifies the misconception. When it comes to stress and change management, it is very easy for you to confuse crisis with stress. Now, remember that crisis occurs and causes harm to probably the whole society or the community, whereas stress only causes emotional and physical stress to a particular individual. Then it is also possible that you can struggle to come up with strategies to deal with globalization and affirmative action. Now, to fix that, you must simply know the definitions of the 2. So you must know that with globalization, we are simply talking about trading with other countries. Now, that will help you to remember that, it means I need to come up with strategies of how I can best deal with trading with different countries. Whereas with affirmative action, we are looking at ensuring that there is equal opportunities for people that were previously disadvantaged. So you need to think, how is it that people that were not allowed to work can work now? When it comes to professionalism and ethics, it is very possible to say that you can struggle to differentiate between professionalism and ethics. Now, I will remind you again that with professionalism, we are looking at what is right or wrong according to the business, whereas with ethics, we are looking at what is wrong or right according to the society. Now, with professionalism, it differs from business to business, whereas with ethics, it is principles that are the same for all of us in society. Now, you can also struggle to explain or discuss the theories of ethics. In order for you to remember, you must make sure that you understand the meaning of each theory. Now, for example, when we talk about the rights approach, you must remember that we are referring to your individual rights according to the Constitution. Then also, it is very important to remember that when the question asks you for professional, ethical, and responsible business practices, you must not, I repeat, you must not separate these into different subtopics. You must write them as they appear. And you must also remember that for you to answer this question, you must know what is professional and what is ethical. I hope this clarifies all the misconceptions that you might have had on business roles, and you are now realizing how easy it is for you to pass. Now, I am going to conclude this lesson by saying, I hope that you always remember to stay shining bright wherever you are. This is goodbye from me.